Are you on? Okay, I just thought of something. You want to know, if you're curious about where I sleep, I don't sleep at the truck stops every single night. For instance, a lot of times I'll sleep right as the other truckers were there last night, at the consignee, where I'm shipping stuff, or at the shipper. If I have to pick up somewhere early in the morning and I get there that night, a lot of times I'll just sleep out, and some places allow parking, some places don't. But that is, I just wanted to let you know that one common place that truckers sleep or park their truck is right where they're supposed to pick up a load or drop off a load. And sometimes they get there early, and we know one way or the other, like some places are more friendly for parking than others. Costco out in Tracy, I should videotape that. There'll be trucks lined up everywhere out there. I mean, it's just a trucker place, trucker friendly. Some places in LA aren't trucker friendly at all. There's no parking signs on the streets in the entire city. Like there's a city somewhere up in LA area where the entire city you cannot park your truck, and or Riverside, I think it is. There's a city, and it's like the truckers are having fits. Like, how do you expect to get things into your stores? Everybody wants to consume things, but you don't like trucks that badly. So I don't know. I mean, I think they stopped that law, but you hear these stories, but maybe not. I don't know if that law was taken down or not. But I mean, come on, people. I mean, you need to live with trucks if you want to have products shipped in, or be friendly as far as being able to have a drop place. Each place, like, you could drop the trailer and get out. That's what I like, by the way. I love the drop-in hooks. Like, I like that idea where you just drop the trailer and come pick up the trailer instead of sitting there and waiting for what's called a live load or a live unload. It's a lot of sitting around and waiting. It's at least 2 hours to sit there while the truck's bouncing up and down. You can feel them coming in and out of the truck with the forklift, and that's cool. But I like the drop-in hook better, where you trail. And I think you have to have a big trucking company to do that, or whatever. You have to have a yard dog and a lot of loads and things. But you drop an empty trailer and pick up one that's already loaded. That goes so quickly. I love that. You're just in and out. So drop-in hooks are definitely, which I hope I don't know why not all places do this. I think there's logistic problems, as I said, with you have to be a big place that has a lot of loads, and a big trucking company that has a lot of empty trailers to go around. And so maybe logistics, you need to be big in order to do that. But I love, like, Costco right now. It's drop-in hook. I don't have to sit there or get there at a certain appointment time. There'll be a range. Pick up the trailer between 2 and 6. Drop off the empty. The only requirement they want is that the empty has to be full of fuel and it has to be swept out. And I get that. As I was saying before, you have pride in, leaving. Like, I want the forklift operators and I want everybody at the warehouse to get the impression in their head that a Pride truck will be swept out clean, and then they get that impression, and then Pride will get more, just have the impression that their trucks are clean, and then maybe we get more customers that way. Anyway, I'm a company driver, and I care, it doesn't make any difference money-wise for me, but I do have pride in working for Pride, and I do have pride in keeping the, trailers clean. It's a big a big priority with Pride is that the outside of the trucks look clean too, if they can. That's what they like. And it's new equipment, and I like that. I try. Okay, so as I was saying, the place I spent last night was outside, and I was trying to figure out. I got an email from the children's father that said, okay, they have all sorts of stuff going on today. The only time we can meet is 8 in the morning, 8 to 8:30 at the Starbucks, whatever. And my drop time was 7 o'clock. This guy was just finishing at noon. So I asked him, I said, look, I need to be in the city by 8 o'clock. And, I was asking him this at 5 in the morning, So I was glad I got to the shipper, because he came to work at 5, and I said, can I just drop my trailer and come back at 11 and pick it up? And he said, yeah, we can work that out. And that's wonderful. Some places are small enough to do that. You can't do that at Walmart. Oh, I like Bird's Eye in Wisconsin, because they offered that. They said if you're hungry, you can just drop the trailer and go into town and go over there and get something to eat and come back in a couple hours. Some places actually offered that. And I said, oh, that's wonderful. All places should do that, instead of sitting there. And it gives them more flexibility too, because this guy had all day to do what he needed to do. And I came back and I told him I'm not going to ask for detention pay. He had the trailer for 5 hours working on this stuff, and I'm not detention pay. That would be 3 hours of detention pay or whatever. So anyway, that's where I went. I went straight to the shipper, and some shippers are flexible. Some will take you early, some won't. and I just slept in the truck for 4 or 5 hours. That's not enough sleep. Okay, I got that, and I'm gonna make up for it tonight. So sometimes, okay, this is internal, and you're not supposed to know this. I mean, we're supposed to get at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep in the sleeper berth a night, and it just didn't work out last night. It was 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, plenty of time for today. You just don't want to do that too many days in a row. So I'm fine for now. I'm running around, and I got a lot of stuff done. I mean, I'm glad I did, but I will definitely stop early tonight. So tonight it's Tracy, California, up to Sumner. That's 700 and something miles, which is 2 trips. I always calculate I could do 600 miles in a day. So if it's 700 and something, that's going to be a 2-day trip. But both days, I only have to drive about 3 or 4 hours one of those 2 days, and then a full day the next day, full 10 or 11 hours. But I could break it up. So tonight, I'll pick up this trailer. I don't have to drive that long. I'll drive at least, as I said, I have to, usually for these 750 mile stretches, I have to drive at least 3 or 4 hours, a couple hundred miles, get it under 600, and then the next day is the big long haul. Or I could drive late into the night, depends on if I'm tired or not. But tonight, so if you want to know how I'm going to decide tonight, first I just make sure I drop everything okay, pick up everything okay. I don't worry about it until I'm on the road. And then I see how I feel. I know I have to drive at least 3 or 4 hours, and then beyond that, it's a matter of what I feel like driving and how much time I have on my clock, etc. Oh my gosh, I'm still on personal conveyance. This is a no-no. I forgot to put. Well, okay. I might get yelled at for that. I need to get myself back on. I need to get off of personal conveyance, and I didn't do that. So I might get yelled at a little bit. This is a little bit because I should have started my day back there, and I forgot to do that. You got me. So it's an extra hour. I should probably pull over. I'm going to pull over in a minute and sweep out the trailer. And when I do that, I'm going to start my day clock. But it doesn't matter. I'm stopping tonight anyway. But I'm doing personal conveyance right now. And personal conveyance is not to just drive for the heck of it. I am working right now. And I should be on regular clock right now. So I didn't do that right. But it's okay. So it depends on how much time I have my clock tonight. There's no way I'm going to be driving until whatever. I'm going to drive until tonight at 8 or 9 probably. But I'll see how I feel. I'll probably get to the border of... I'll probably go pretty far. But I'm tired. I want to get to bed. I want to get online. I haven't been online in a long time. I want to do the video blog. There's a couple things I do. So, and I also want to check what my fuel stop is. I have enough fuel to go 600 miles right now. So I'm not going to do that tonight. I might. Whatever. Depends on how I feel. But I'll stop probably at 11 or 12. A lot of times when you stop at that time, it's hard to find parking. But I haven't had trouble with parking lately. And usually people are leaving so much. I have yet to find a place that I've had trouble for parking too badly. And even if I do, I always find a place that they don't care about. It'll be like next to the, if it's they're very lenient, a lot of the truck stops. They don't kick people out when the trucker is tired. I think they get that. And there's some places that aren't quite legal or they're hash marked, no parking, and I just park it. Come and knock on my door, and they never do. So I mean, and that's very rarely I'll do that. But I haven't had a problem with truck stops being too full, but they're usually full by the time I pull in at midnight. But there's always trucks leaving. It's incredible. Just if you wait around 10 minutes, there's going to be a truck leaving and you can get in somewhere. So I don't fret over full truck stops the way my driver trainer did. He was always fretting, oh, it's going to be full. We have to stop now. And, I don't know. He must have had bad experiences because we were always stopping like hours before the 11-hour clock was up. And I wanted to drive the full 11 hours and then stop. But he'd say, oh, it could be full and we might have to drive up to the next place. And I've never had to do that. I think he just wanted to. Some drivers don't want to drive the full 11 hours. And that's fine. That's a different style, but it's not my style. I like to take down my speed and drive the full 11 hours. So I already know where I'm going. I'm going to Sumner. I've been there before. There's a truck stop called the Mustard Seed. And that's where I'll stay because I know this. I've done this trip before, and it's the only one near there. It's the only one near Costco in Sumner, Washington. It's called the Mustard Seed Truck Stop, and that's where everybody going to Costco stops there. That's just the way it is. because there are no other truck stops. There's no Flying J, there's no Pilot, there's nothing in that. You know, Oregon, California, and Washington, I mean, unless you're on the 5, they seem to, there's some areas that they just have no Loves, they have no Pilot, and no Flying J or TA. I don't know what it is about these western states, but they have all these odd Donna's truck stop, and they have other truck stops, but they don't have the major ones where we fuel. So, I mean, it's tough to get fuel. I try to get as much as I can wherever I can here, because you go into these areas and I'm paying out of my pocket. I get reimbursed, but I prefer to stop and pay on my fuel card. Okay, so here comes a way station. You know what? I went through a way station last night. Okay, here it is. Look, there's a free pass. Let me move over. Oh no, it's going to tell me. So this is funny. It's almost like being sent to the principal's office when you get a red light. I take it personally. Like, come on, give me a pass. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Hey, green light. I love it. It's like makes my day. Okay, so the pre-passes are great. I love this. Like, all trucks must stop. But if you have these little, I have I should show it to you. It's on my front windshield. It's like this little black box that's on my windshield. And you go by one bar and it measures something, and then you go by a second bar up above. You have to make sure you're in your right lane. Oh, the scale is closed anyway. Okay, I mean, it's nice that they do the green light though. Some scales are closed and you can't figure it out until you're almost up on the scale, but California's nice. They just put it on automatic green. So that was nice. I got a bypass signal, but the scale is closed anyway. But that's nice. But when I get a red light, I go, oh, I'm being sent to the principal's office. Yeah, so I spent the night last night at the consignee, and I do that often, so that's all. And I was fortunate to be near a 24-hour liquor store. I love 24-hour anything. I love that so much because I'm such a night owl, and anything that's 24 hours, like Walmart. Oh, I love Walmart. And you know, if McDonald's is open late, at least, they're not 24 hours yet, but I like anything that's open 24 hours. So there was a 24-hour liquor store, and I got some milk there this morning at like 5 in the morning. But that guy was nice, and I really like that. And sometimes they're small enough, but every place is different. Even some Costco's. Some Costco's don't, and some do. So I always like to go straight to the consignee and ask them if they could take me early. And a lot of times they do, sometimes they don't. And if they don't, you just get in your truck and sleep until it's time to go, or put it on personal conveyance and go to the nearest truck stop. But yeah, so I don't sleep at truck stops every night. So how am I going to decide tonight's truck stop? I'm going to decide when I get on the road and see how I feel. And I know the only minimum I have to do is I have to do 3 hours tonight. This thing's due tomorrow. No, it's due Thursday. It's Tuesday today. It's due Thursday morning at 5 a.m. So, and I don't want to drive. I don't like driving 11 hours and showing up at 5 a.m. So I'm going to be at the Mustard Seed tomorrow night sometime, sleep there, set the alarm, get up, and get Costco. So Costco is very important to us. It's very important to get those loads there on time because we want to keep their account. We like them. They're a huge account with us. And it's a priority with our company. You know, just do everything you can to get those loads. Do not be late for Costco is a very big, oh, I'm sorry. It's shaking like crazy here. So yes, here goes another truck driver problem. The roads, my goodness, people. I mean, they're so horrible. I'm just shocked. Come on, California, fix your darn road. I mean, seriously. You know, get the highway transportation bill through. I mean, some of them are okay. This isn't bad, but I mean, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of, just fix them. But I know a lot of roads are constantly under construction. I get it. But come on now. Some of it is like, holy cow. I mean, this needs to be repaved. And a lot of times I'll cheat and go over to this lane. So I'm in the trucker lane. I'm going to go over one more to the left and it'll be better. This is a little better. So what? Assuming, usually you're supposed to be in the right lane if you're slow, you know. But there's 4 lanes here. It's not like I'm blocking too much traffic. And now it's much better. So I just moved over one lane. The truck lane, the far right lane, is usually really the worst, and it's really bad. But when it gets to be that bad, I will move over into this lane. There's not much traffic here. There's nobody behind me. It's cool. I'm okay. So, yeah. So that's how I'm going to decide tonight. And as I said, I'm going to get on my GPS, and I'll bet you, again, it's only going to show pilot, and it's not going to show of a Love's or whatever it is, but there will be one at that place. And I also have to check, another thing, as I said, I'm going to check what the fuel stops are for this. And I'll shoot for the fuel stop order. A lot of times it'll be like, I want a pilot in this state. So if I can't make it to the fuel stop that the company asks me to go to, I will at least try for that truck stop name. Like if he says, I want you to do a pilot in Fernley. So if I can't get there and I need to get fuel, I'm going to try to do a pilot within that state. Because I think it's the state that matters and the branch for some reason, like with taxes and with, like we have a minimum, he explained to us, like, we'll have contracts with certain, like he'll have a huge contract with Pilot and say, okay, we're going to buy 5,000 gallons from you this month. So because he has this contract, we try to buy from Pilot if we can, like that month or whatever it is. So if I can't make the exact fuel stop, like the Pilot in Fernley, and there's also taxes, and it's all very complicated. What the computer spits out is the best fuel, it's not necessarily like when you look at the marked price and you go, oh, I mean, Indiana always has like the cheapest fuel prices, but we never fuel in Indiana, and I don't know, so there's something else, like we get a different price than what's listed. So I never go by what's listed out on the marquee for the price that we're getting. I'm not sure what price they're getting. It's all very complicated. I don't question it, but I do try. If I can't get the fuel stop that they tell me to go to, I do try at least, like if it says Pilot in Fernley, I can't make it. I'm going to try it to at least do a pilot somewhere in Nevada, like that, just to make it so that, it seems to work out. They don't complain about me not following the fuel sometimes. So if I go off the fuel routing, I will at least, it won't be so bad. Also, I never fill up my tank more than half full, because, listen to me, I'm going to run out. This is going to be full. But this is important, because this is a big deal with me, the fuel efficiency thing. And I have a theory, and I told you about it before. It's like I always move all my weight to my front. But when you fuel up, all the fuel weight also goes to the front. So that means I can move less load to the front. So as long as, if I fuel up full sometimes, I go over, I'm overweight. I'll have like 34.8s on my drive wheels. That's way over, I gotta be 34,200. And that's 600 pounds of fuel that I just put in there. So I'm always at half full, because that's all I need to go 600 miles from fuel stop to fuel stop. I can't drive more than that. I can't drive more than a half a tank in a day anyway. And it helps me with my fuel efficiency, because I could move a lot more weight, another 600 pounds, that's 2 notches on my tandems, to the front. And it really, I mean, this is all stuff I'm doing, and I'm top 3 every month. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing. But what I don't understand, what I don't get, is why this isn't a common knowledge thing in the trucking industry. Like, why isn't it, like everybody says, pump up your tires, everybody says, slow down, everybody says, try to use...
In 2 miles, keep to the right on I-580.
Everybody says, try to use the, cruise control as much as you can. A lot of things for fuel efficiency, wind drag and all that. But nobody says shift your loads to the front. And it makes a lot of sense physics-wise. Like if you were your kid, remember when you're pulling the wagon? If you have everything up in the front of the wagon, it's a lot easier to pull it than it is when everything's in the back, when you're pulling it up a hill. Or it seems that way to me. It just feels, I don't know. Maybe that's not a thing. But you just get the feeling physics-wise that it makes sense that you put as much of the load as close to the source of the engine as possible, or the pull, or whatever it is. It just feels like and it seems to be working. What I don't understand is, I don't understand how to go from here to, like, is there like a trucking organization somewhere that tests things like this? Like, I would love to just do that for a couple of weeks. Take a load and go over Donner Pass, and then come back with the exact same load and do it with the tandems moved back, and see what the difference is in fuel efficiency. It's a huge difference, I think. Oh, I should have stopped here and swept out my trailer. Oh no, I think there's like a rest area up here where I'm going to sweep out my trailer. I don't know where to sweep out my trailer. I feel like dirty doing it. But I clean up, but I feel like I have to do it secretly, and I'm like, it looks like, I'm going to be frowned upon by people driving by. I don't want them to see me sweeping out my trailer. But, okay, so the fuel efficiency thing's a big deal.
In 1/2 mile, keep to the right on I-580.
So I never fuel up too much anyway. Like, they don't want you to fill a tank somewhere that's off fuel, and I never fill up anyway. 100, like my tanks are 100 gallons each. I have 2 tanks on the right, on the left, and they balance each other after a while. Keep to the right. Okay, going to Tracy. I'm not Tracy. Why am I going this way?
Keep to the right on I-580.
Okay. I thought I was going to Tracy, buddy. Ah, come on. Let me do something first before I... Tracy, okay. That's Tracy. So I thought I'd follow 280, but I guess not. Okay, so that's my theory, but I want to test it. Nobody says this. It saves like a huge difference. And California's laws with their tandems is a big waste of fuel. You need to push the tandems back. I don't know what. I don't get this, and I want to test it because it's and I don't get why. It might be me, but I'd love to test this theory. It just makes so much sense, and I don't understand why it's not common knowledge in the trucking industry. Because you'd say, literally, I calculated it. Like when you have 1 million trucks in the world, I think the number was 1 million, and you're saving this much fuel. It's like billions of dollars a week in fuel savings just by shifting your tandems further back and shifting the load to the front. It's not something it's something that's easily done. It's not like, it's even easier than the tire pressure thing. It's easier than slowing down for the men. And it would save so much money in fuel and, so much pollution and everything like that. So I'm just confused why, it's almost like maybe the fuel companies know that this is a way to save fuel and they're trying to, I don't know. Anyway, that's a big deal. And I'm going to talk to you about that because I purposely moved my tandems far to the back against the law for California, and I purposely got it.
Take exit 67, Mountain House Parkway, Patterson Pass Road.
Okay. Oh, I see where I'm going. So, recently, I just want to say, and my tandems are back now. So when I'm in California, it's like, I want to challenge it. So this police officer stopped me, CHP, when I was up on Donner Pass. I was like 10 miles from the Reno border, by the way. And California is the only state that does it. Utah used to do the tandem law, and they repealed it. All the states that had this law about the tandems being pushed forward, they all repealed them, except for California. So now, and I hate that because it kills my fuel efficiency when I have to push my tandems forward and get all the weight off my drives. I don't like it. So I just do what I have to do to get fuel efficiency, and this cop stops me, and he says, your tandems, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to affect your CSA score. It's not a speeding, whatever. And I said, I know, I do that on purpose for fuel efficiency.
Take exit 67, Mountain House Parkway, Patterson Pass Road, and then keep to the left in 0.2 miles.
Okay, thank you, Mildred. I'll do that. Oh, I know where I am now. Okay, so, and he stops me, CHP, and he was really nice, and I told him, I am not going to say I'm not guilty. Of course this is guilty. We measured everything out. I said I'm going to go and try to appeal this. I'm going to say...
Mountain House Parkway, and then turn left in 100 feet.
And then he said, well, look out in September and we'll send you how much this is and everything. It's going to be like 300, whatever. It's worth it. That's what I get in a month in fuel efficiency. This is just me. And he was a little bit panicky. Like, I said, I'm trying to change this law because it's a ridiculous law. And he kind of, he was okay, but he said, did your company tell you to do this? like I got big guns behind this little project. And I said, no. They tell me the opposite. They always tell me to be in compliance. I didn't tell anybody at my company this. Please don't tell them. I'm trying to do this on my own, but it would be nice if I had backing from my company on this. I might tell Nate, the fuel guy. He's really nice.
1,000 feet, turn right on West Shield Road, and then approaching destination on the right side in 300 feet.
Oh, I know, it's right here. Oh man, I need to sweep out. I need to sweep this trailer out. I'm going to do that right here. I need to do this right here. Okay.
Turn right on West Shield Road, and then approaching destination on the right side in 300 feet.
That's it. I just got to do it right here and keep my doors closed again. I didn't pass by the, I went in a different route. I didn't pass by the rest area where I usually sweep this out. I don't know what happened. But I'm going to stop. I'm like less than a quarter mile from where I got to drop this trailer, but I'm going to sweep it out first. And I'll show you why. It's full of like just wood chips and things. But the fuel efficiency, so I got a ticket He's going to tell me in September, if you don't get anything in the mail by then, call us and we'll tell you how much the ticket is. But he says, as I said, the CHP was like, did your company tell you to do this? So I'm going to tell Nate England. I'm probably going to talk to him. It's nothing that I could do in writing here, though. They don't, like, if you're not being compliant in some way, it's like, don't be dumb about it and put it in writing. I got to talk to him face to face and ask him if there's some attorney, or I need to ask him, like, just a question like, what's California's problem? What is their argument in favor of this tandem law? Because the opposite of that is just huge benefits in fuel efficiency. It's just a law that I don't get, and I'm going to try to change it. And I told the CHP that. And I'm still getting, and in case that ticket goes through, I'm still running in California with my tandems where I want them, and I'm not following the law again. So I'm going to get stopped eventually by CHP. Like, my tandems, I have an empty trailer. There's no need to here. But I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying, let me do my fuel efficiency stuff, and then if that ticket goes through, and now this is where Dr. Crazy Nut Job comes in. It's like, what are you doing that? You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're getting a ticket on purpose. But this is my passion. I don't care, money, whatever. I'm paying $800 a month in child support. I mean, that's not needed. I mean, the guy has $1 million in savings. He owns a $1 million house in San Francisco. He gets $250,000 a year. They don't need my $800 a month in child support. He's just doing it out of anger and whatever. So I'm just saying, relatively speaking, I don't mind that, but $300 for that ticket, that's nothing for me to feel like I'm like doing some good for the trucking industry. I just need to figure out how to get a little bit of help in this and do it right, like an attorney or some kind of backing from maybe Pride. I don't know if they're going to back me on this ticket, but I want to appeal the ticket on the basis of I need to get my fuel efficiency numbers up to save fuel and to make money, and this law is getting in the way of that, and I don't know what the law is for. It's just a waste of fuel. So anyway, as I said, I'm very interested in the law, and this is one that has to do with trucking, and that's why I'm telling you about this one in particular and what I'm doing. So I have this ticket, and we'll see. But I thought the CHP was very interested. He was a little bit weary that maybe the trucking company was putting me up to this. And they, who knows, maybe they're glad I'm going to try this. So I got to talk to Nate and see. But I'm not a troublemaker that way. I'm not trying to like do anything. I love changing the law. I love doing a little bit of this, you mentioned civil disobedience, and everybody has a fit, but it's a very important part of our government and our process, and I'm doing it in a very respectful way. As I told the CHP, I said, I'm not going to lie and say this and that and try to get out of the ticket. I need to find somebody who's going to appeal it head on and challenge the law head on, and that's what I'm doing in family court right now, but I'm paying for it. They're like beating me up like crazy, but in the long run, I just feel that this is my passion, and I have mustard seed faith. This truck stop I go to is called the Mustard Seed, and I think it's run by Christians, and I like going there because sometimes you do need faith, and sometimes you lose the faith, sometimes you just need a little reminder. So I love going to the Mustard Seed truck stop up in Sumner, Washington, because it just sort of like replenishes my faith, and that there is a higher power and that I'm doing the right thing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to need another tape. But this was trucking related, I swear. So I'm going to go sweep out the trailer. I'm going to take you with me on this. I'm going to get bored. I'm going to finish soon. I swear I'm going to be running out of stuff to say. Okay, I'll turn you on in a minute. I'm turning you off now. Taking you out of the holder. I got to drop this trailer. Come on, puppy. Come on, puppy chow. Turn off.